Well,
I'm just trying to understand.
as far as the females go, it's you know, like I was talking with Crossing Ways last week about being transgender.
Mhm.
It's if you're transgender, you're not really. They're never going to accept you as female. Women, you know, hate each other, let alone somebody that's they think is trying to dress up like a woman.
Yes, they do.
So we're kind of we're kind of in the middle, you know. So I don't feel we're ever gonna. We're not men and we're not women. So we're kind of like in the middle between them. And some people think it's hard to accept the transgenders in MGTOW, and then feminists don't want to really accept us in the regular circle with them either. You know, so it's just one of those things. I did a video last week talking about like Karen Strong and a bunch of other people that have done some really good things for men's rights. And with
Mhm.
Karen Strong, she's got 2 sons. So everybody said, well, she's just doing it for her sons. But it's like, yeah, maybe she's doing it for her sons, but also she's she's going to end up doing things for everyone else too. She can't just do things that's going to just help her son. While she's doing it, she's going to do a lot of things for us too. You know?
Hmm. I never paid attention to that chick.
Yeah.
So I just invited Paul. Okay, well, Crossing Ways is gone. I invited Paul Wilson. I don't think he's going to come in, but
Yeah.
have you ever talked to him?
Uh-uh.
Oh no. Okay. He lives in the UK. So yeah, I was thinking about if I come to Japan, I could have you ever heard of Moodle, the online the school that you can set up yourself? I've done that before. You can set
Oh
up
yeah.
yeah. If I were to come to Japan, I would do something like that and set up my private lessons around that. You think that would work?
Waze is back. She left and then she came back and then she left.
Do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys
Something must
doing?
have been wrong. I'm good. Something must have been wrong with your mic.
Oh, is something's wrong with my mic?
No, last time I think you came on, but there was no sound or anything.
Well, I'm speaking like directly into the phone,
Okay.
and yeah, doing it on the phone is weird, but
Yeah. I thought maybe Magnus would show up this week too. Hmm.
It's kind of too early probably for a lot of people. It's Saturday morning, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
You're on the East Coast anyway, and it's
Yeah. Magnus is always driving trucks, so who knows where he's at. He's got another meetup. Uh, it'll be 8 a.m. for me tomorrow, but it's like 11 p.m. here now. So he does his meetups at like 8 o'clock my time Sunday morning.
yeah. So Crossing Ways left again.
Yeah, she's having something wrong with her mic. She said she's speaking into the phone, but
Okay.
it sounds kind of funky.
Yeah. So you think if I come to Japan and do that kind of thing, private teaching with Moodle, maybe to reinforce private lessons, they might, go to me more than someone else?
Not really. There's just a lot of people that find it kind of I don't know, intimidating being in a room with a gaijin and having to speak in English and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes they feel a little bit better doing it online, and sometimes they just don't have time. They don't want to go to some school somewhere, and it's easier for them to just go ahead and do it online.
Oh, you think they might like pay in advance for like lessons online or something then?
Yeah,
They would?
yeah. Some of them would rather do that.
Okay. So that, they might be able to set up like a place to meet to give me the money or maybe half or something, and then I do the lessons online for them.
Most of them will do the online lessons through um, through like the online thing. They get on and they ask for a teacher. You know,
What on the? No, I don't know what online thing.
when they like the online the Meagle, or there's actually websites. Omegle is just a like a live hangout type thing.
So
You
what?
know,
So it's kind of
it's
like
not.
negating. It's kind of like negating what we were talking about earlier. I come over there and teach in a school during the day, but then at night or in the morning teach like private lessons, right?
Yeah. What you'd end up having to do, there's actually online sites that you can get on and offer teaching. Um, one of those is called italki.com.
Oh,
And if you get on italki.com, you can actually set up as being a teacher. And by doing that, you can then uh, start teaching lessons through that, and that'll allow you to
so
get paid.
that's not really cash work then.
Yeah, no, it's online. Italki.com is a kind of like a Amazon for teachers. Basically, you can teach like English or French or German. They have like every language and teachers all over the world that teach through there. And you can just get on there and you can pick out a teacher for what like your price range is and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to learn, and then they will actually uh, allow you to get paid.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. What's up, Mangus?
Not a whole lot. I just woke up and forgot all about this particular thing.
Yeah, last week I fucked up. I went and started the new Hangout right after I got off the old one, and I didn't make it a live broadcast for some reason. I just made it like a regular Hangout, and then I forgot it was the 31st, and when it said like what day, I just put the next Sunday, and it ended up being the 14th instead of the 7th.
Back in a second.
Yeah, no, I know how that goes. Yeah, no, I don't think I could get on that website where they teach different languages. The only two languages I speak fluently are English and hillbilly.
Well, that's the cool thing. If like you had a language you wanted to learn, like say you said you studied Japanese, if you wanted to get better at Japanese or you wanted to learn Spanish or something, that's what's cool. The italki.com has teachers, and you can learn any language you want, German or Italian or whatever. There's teachers all over the world on the site, and you just get on there, and if you want to pay like $10 a week or $10 a month or whatever, they have a price range for whatever you want, and you can choose a teacher from that. And if you don't like the teacher that you chose, you can always get a different one, and it's kind of cool. So it'd be an hour-long lessons, or if you can only afford, if you only can do a 30-minute lesson, then you do that. And
Oh, there you go.
you just take lessons and learn a new language.
Yeah, no, my schedule's already pretty erratic. I'd hate to put some poor teacher through that.
Yeah, I know it is. Driving truck, you never know where you're going to be tomorrow.
Oh, I know exactly where I'm affecting to be tomorrow.
In your truck.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the nice thing about driving truck, man.
Yes, it is.
Never knew what town I was going to be in. I always knew I was going to be in my truck, but I never knew where I was going to be tomorrow.
Well, that was why one of my favorite lines from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was, "Remember, no matter where you go, there you are."
Yep. Yeah, I used to live in a bus for a while, traveling around with the Grateful Dead. I did that for 4 years. That was how I looked at it. It was kind of nice. You could always move someplace. Your shit was already packed because you were in a bus. You just move to a new place and start a new life. And if you didn't like it, you just get in your car and drive. Keep driving.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what's nice. So you don't have a home base, do you?
Oh, I just got a mailing address that I visit every once in a while.
Okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, I find even though you make a lot of money driving trucks, some guys just like they get in their truck and that's their home and they just stop having a house because they're never around. You know, with my trucking company, they kind of make it a point to, like, if you're from the East Coast, they send you to the West Coast, and if you're from the West Coast, they send you to the East Coast. You know, they kind of keep you away from your home. Because my when I started Warner, they were saying like you'd have 10 days on, 4 days off, or some shit like that. And then I got in the truck and I didn't see my home for like 2.5 months. you know, you know, that's how they get you though. They make you think you're gonna, oh no, you're gonna get like 10 days on and then 4 days off, and then I never got a day off. I got 13 hours off, and then I was driving again.
Yeah, but that's what's so great about the MGTOW lifestyle is I'm almost like an alley cat. You know, no real
Yeah,
home base. I go wherever, however long, and
yeah,
show back up. Show back up if I feel like it.
yeah. Did you see all that drama that happened this week? In that video I
Yeah,
dropped?
I was kind of vaguely paying attention to it, but not really.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I put out a video that I there's a lot of women in the men's right activist movement that are kind of they've been working for a long time. There's some lady that's a lady who writes books and all kinds of shit, and she's been working in the against feminism for like 45 years. You know, she's very well known as an anti-feminist, and she's these some of the MGTOW guys were like, I don't want any women around and blah blah blah, and they kind of like, forget that these women have been working for on their behalf for many years. People like Karen Strong and stuff. Then they go and they'll say like, Karen Strong is doing it for her boys, because she has two sons. It's like, yeah, maybe she is, but if she does things that helps out her son, it's not like it's going to only help her sons. It's going to help everybody else too. And that's why they're studying and doing that stuff. So to like act like no women, should be able to say anything or be heard. Like if they come on a live hangout with MGTOW, and then a lot of guys said like, I'll just hang up and go away. It's like if you're like that, it's really stupid, because you've got allies. Like I've said before, when you go into colleges, like 80% of college teachers are women, and they're all feminists. So to have people like Karen Strong and stuff like that in the trenches, they're the only ones that can kind of get in and find out what's really going on, because they're not going to tell anything to a
Yeah,
guy,
well,
you know.
in my opinion, the way this works is this: if women are ever going to come back to being actual, factual, normal human beings, it's gonna have to get personal for them like that.
Yeah,
If Karen's just doing it because of her sons, great. That means she realizes that, it's gonna fuck her sons out of a future if she doesn't do something.
yep. That's what it usually is, like you get those people that hate gays, they think gays are awful, and then their kids grow up and one day they walk in and say, Dad, I'm gay. And then all of a sudden they become an ally, all of a sudden they start being like, I'm going to hang out with the LGBT crowd and blah, blah, blah. And before they were like, I hate gays are awful, and they're all freaks, and so
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things. Once you get one in your own family, then all of a sudden everything changes.
I've run into that before. The family was really like anti-gay, like they were, it wasn't every day, but they would say, oh, the gay, part of the neocon agenda. They're not real conservatives. They're just, they're like the kind of the shit they see on TV. So they're like, oh, we hate gays. Gays, all gays like anal sex. Well, they find out one of their children was gay. I know somebody like that. So it's like they're reinforcing, like they're basically telling their kids be gay, but they're saying don't be gay. It's fucked, man.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. If you
Yeah,
hate them
that's
so
how
much, why are
it
you
is.
talking about it? But you see, hate is a passionate emotion, like love is. They love to obsess over it. So they hate. They don't just like it. They actually love it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing I don't get is why do you really give a fuck what other people do? I mean,
Yeah.
that just
Exactly.
baffles me. It's
Yeah.
like, if you're not doing that shit, then What's the problem? Are you like insecure in your own normal heterosexuality that
Yeah, and that's what I see.
gays? It's
Like
like
group on Facebook.
gays have cuties.
Well,
No.
that's what I think is funny about the whole gay marriage thing in the United States. All the people that were fighting against it, because they act like if gay marriage becomes legal, then everybody's going to have to marry a gay person. Like, it's like if you aren't gay and you don't ever plan on marrying a gay person, then giving people the right to marry as gay has absolutely nothing to do with you, you know? And if you have the right to marry, then they should have the right to marry. And if two gay people get married, it has absolutely nothing to do with you, but they should have the right to do that if they want to do that, because their life has absolutely nothing to do with your life.
Well,
You
I
know,
think
but all
that
these people get all pissed off about it.
you might be missing the point too. The marriage, why should it have to be even recognized by the government anyway? They have no business being in it anyway. So
Yeah.
it's just a mute point. I think you're just kind of perpetuating the stereotype and the bullshit. Who
Yeah.
cares? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, well, the problem that they have that a lot of the straight people didn't see is like when they get married, then they get like if you get sick and you're gay and you go to the hospital, then they say only family members can come in and see you, you know, or if you're married, like your wife.
So
So
you're looking at
if
you're
you're
wanting
with
the
somebody
state
who's
courts.
gay, then
Yeah.
all of a sudden your partner, who maybe you've had for 15 years, can't come in the room, can't come
Yeah,
see
I
you.
know what you're
And
saying, and you're
if you
they're trying
die
to
and you have like a house and a car and money in the bank and all this stuff, and you leave a will, in some cases they won't.
look.
You can't get the house because your partner died and you're not married.
Yeah. But that's because of the legal entanglement that the government got themselves in decades ago, and that with straight people. So, I mean, obviously they want those straight people have, but again, I think only a very small majority of the population is gay anyway. So, it just, to me, the whole thing has been ruined. The whole institution of marriage has been ruined by government involvement. Not just that, but primarily that. So there you go. And
Yeah, I just think everybody should be able to be free and do whatever they want. And if you're, especially if you want to get like, there's benefits for being married, but with like health care and all this other bullshit. And if somebody has been with their partner, like look at Ellen DeGeneres, they've been married now for like 10 years. If she wasn't married and Ellen got sick or something, then she couldn't even go see her at the hospital. So I mean, that's what it's about. It's about just having the same rights. They're not asking for anything different. They're not asking for special treatment. They're asking for the same treatment. That's it. If you're with somebody and they get sick, you can go visit them. If they die, you can get their shit. If you're gay, none of that applies. All of a sudden, you don't have those rights.
yeah. So on a similar vein, the other night when I went on the date with that girl, there was once that she called herself boss, and I noticed that many women enjoy calling themselves boss. I'll see pictures of girls they'll have tattoos, but on their shirt they'll say tattooed boss. Everything is boss. So it's some weird subculture thing, and I haven't seen any MGTOW make a video of it. I should do it. But these women, they're talking about themselves like they're like a boss. Like, who the fuck are these bitches? They're not the boss of nobody.
I know. Well, it's all in their head, just like Jimi Hendrix said. It's all in your head, baby.
So I want to make a video about that.
I'm still trying to figure out just exactly what what all the hullabaloo is about. Why people just so greatly give a ripe red raw flying fuck what other people do. I mean, if I didn't talk to weird people on a daily fucking basis, I wouldn't talk to no fucking body. Oh
So
no,
yeah,
it's a straight white cis male that doesn't give a fuck what other people do. Burn the witch or some shit. And it's like, dude, fuck off.
but there's a whole there. It's nice to think that we don't have to worry about what other people do. Anybody can do what they want. But that's not really reality. Like our prime minister 30, 40 years ago said that the government has no business in the bedrooms of the people, right? Well, not really. I mean, the government, okay, maybe not the government, but the community should, because if somebody's like, fucking like a ghost in his apartment, and then he goes, nobody knows about it, but then he goes to the dentist the next day, you have to share equipment that the dentist used with this guy. Like these people that you don't know what they're doing in their bedroom or in their house. I mean, if a community finds out about it, I would not want to live in that community if there's a lot of those kinds of people, because I don't want to increase my risk of death from associating with these people. So to think that we're all like living in a closed bubble like these Marxists think, it's not true. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You still have to interact with them. It's not we're living in a closed bubble. Hello?
Hello? Yeah.
Well, nah, Dave. See, my problem with the whole thing is this: is as long as nobody's breaking any actual laws like killing people, fucking kids, or whatever, I don't really give a shit what people do. I mean, talking about going to the dentist, well, they sterilize the equipment after every patient, so.
But you see, you're operating on a false premise that sterilization kills everything. It doesn't. There's things called prions, proteins that are not killed. There's a lot of things that we think we know, but we actually don't. Like this common knowledge that we think we have, a lot of it is false. Like we're basically conditioned with this false information. Prions is one of the examples. Prions cannot be killed by heat and by standard sterilization. But nobody knows about prions. Prions came to be with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease in like 12 years ago. But prions are very common, not just with mad cow disease, with many other things. So that's just one example. I mean, no. I mean, think that sterilization will solve it? No, it won't. And and it's kind of, like I said, simplistic to think, oh, okay, yeah, just he can do what he wants as long as he's not breaking any laws. No, that's too simplistic too. I mean, it's all about statistics and risk mitigation, right? And I'm just using that as an example. There's a lot of things that we think we know.
But you also got to consider the fact that it's kind of extremely difficult to keep up with what everybody's doing at every given point of every single day.
Well, no, not really, because that's why people settle in communities. Largely, this is sociology 101. I'm not being a bigot or anything here. This is, if anybody studies sociology, the major sociologists say that people tend to congregate with their own kind. That's what they tend to do. That doesn't mean that's what they always do. That means what they tend to do, right? So, white flight is an example. They don't want to live with blacks or don't want to live with other people. Asians do the same thing. You want to call an Asian flight? Okay, go ahead and call an Asian flight. And, Toronto is a prime example. Japan doesn't want foreigners in their country. That's what they don't. That's what they want. That's what they don't want. They don't want foreigners in their country. Is it wrong? No, it's their own fucking. It's their own goddamn country. If you don't like it, fuck off.
Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah, I think
People,
you're never gonna be able to have anything like that go on if you end up, trying to relegate what everyone else does. You can't tell everybody like you can't do this or you can do that or.
no.
I mean that's not freedom. That's not freedom. You have the freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have anybody telling you what you can and can't do, and they can't watch you.
Well, personally, what I do, if I don't like a situation, I just vote with my feet and I walk out. I just leave.
Exactly. That's what I did. I fucking left the United States. I didn't want anything else to do with it.
Yeah. So, I'm just using that as an example, right? And when we talk about government involvement, I just try to say, forget it. I mean, if somebody doesn't like the situation they're in, I just leave. If I don't like the guy, if my neighborhood all of a sudden gets invaded by niggers or something like that, I'm just using that as an offensive term. But if anybody wants to do that, and I'll say I don't like this place anymore, I'll just move out because I probably can't do anything about it. So I'll just move out. And that's what a lot of people do.
Can't keep moving and moving and moving and moving. That is the ideology of totalitarianism, which is
you're
Islam.
right. But we were talking about we were talking about homosexual marriage and things like that, because you just joined in. We were talking about that kind of thing, and I said, well, yeah, would I really want to live in a community? It depends what your personal preference is, right? Myself, I don't want to live in a community with a higher risk of disease.
It depends on your personal preference. A fucking cake seller didn't want to make a cake for somebody who was homosexual because it went against their Christian values, and they got done.
Yeah, the nicest thing I like about it is that if you want to act like that, you're going to end up having issues, because, especially nowadays with all this PC culture, I don't want people to be PC. I want to know who the fuck you are and what you think. And the only way you're going to find out about that is if I know what the fuck you think. So if you're saying bigoted, hateful bullshit, nobody's going to go to your fucking cake store, nobody's going to go to your fucking thing, and your business is going to go under, and you're going to get the fuck out. And that's the best way. That's the best way to be. This PC culture allows people to fake and act like they're something they're not. You know, like, oh, I'm not bigoted, I have a black friend.
Shi-nu, what you're saying, my man, is basically, I can be smiley, happy, and everything's flowery, but really I want to stab you in the fucking back. Social justice warriors, feminists, fucking Muslims, you name it, they're doing it.
Yep, exactly. That's what they're doing nowadays. A lot of the people are like that, you know. I think that's what's bad about the PC thing, because a lot of these feminists won't come right out and say it. Some of them will, but lots of them won't come out and say, like, I hate men. I wish all men would die. But then there's other people that make that their hashtag. I just seen some girl this week that had the hashtag on her Twitter page. The picture that's on the top of her Twitter page is some street that they spray painted over it, and it says "Kill Men" on it.
Yeah, but the point is, the hashtag "Kill All Men" came from, get this, an equalities minister in a student union in Britain, and she did a talk saying we want diversity, but we don't want white men. And then she did a selfie with white men's tears on a door, right? So listen, us white men give the world everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And we did the Reformation, we did the Enlightenment, we made laws in our countries, and now they want Sharia law, these fuckwits. You will get complete culture, you fucking wankers.
They want Sharia law as long as it doesn't have anything to do with them having any of their rights stripped, and as long as men have absolutely nothing to do with it. You know?
No, so long as men don't have sexual reproductive rights, so long as men can be put in jail for not paying child support, when even the fucking child's not his, that's fine.
Exactly.
Christ.
Yeah. There's even a law that's coming out now that some feminists put into the legislature, where they're trying to say that if a woman says that you raped her, that it has to go to trial whether it's true or not. That it's not even, there's no way for them, they're not wanting anyone to say, like, let's find out if it's true or not before we go to court or before we press charges. So yeah, because that's just blaming the victim, right?
Right, can you just reiterate what you just said? Sorry if it's going to bore the other people. Hey, Magnus, you fucking yank.
No, so that's why I just don't bother getting all excited about, you know, I've heard people are talking shit about some of the shit that I say in my hangout. I don't really give a fuck. I mean,
go on.
If they're gonna get all pissed off because I want to try to give dudes useful information, let them. I don't give a fuck. They don't have to listen.
Yeah.
Go on. What did you say? What did you say? Did you hurt somebody's MGTOW feels? The fucking idiots.
I did.
Yeah, I think I rubbed their MGTOW the wrong way or some shit.
Yeah, I did too this week when I put out a video about listening or like if we have a hangout like this and a woman shows up that is a MGTOW supporter, that we should allow that. And there's a bunch of MGTOW that, like, if a woman shows up to a hangout, then they'll just like hang up, you know.
Right, but listen to this. Listen to this. Diana Davidson.
Yeah,
Right.
I like her.
I don't.
Yeah.
She's a feminist. She's a
Yeah.
feminist. She's a wolf in clothing.
Yeah.
Right? She said, when the white race dies out, who cares? The human race will go on. Oh, that's nice. Sweetie pie. Right?
Yeah.
I was listening to her in a hangout where everybody was drooling over her, the ugly fucking, skinny fucking, I think she's Jewish, bitch, said, I said, what would, and I was luring her in. And I said, Diana, what would you like for the future between the sexes? And she said, well, I would like fuck buddies.
Yeah.
And that is what the feminists wanted. Men to just be used as sperm donors and they create a village.
Yeah.
Right? And that is what's happened. And that is why the birth rate is so low across the Western world. And I'll let you speak, boys. I'm just sick of this shit. I'm sick of women.
I just find it entertaining that, you know, at some point, sooner or later, we're going to have to learn to get, or, you know, everybody's going to have to learn to get along again. Either that or, you know, it's going to be total human extinction. Now, whether I ever get married again or not is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, it's my life. I can do what I want with it. But at some point, if we're going to keep the human species going, people are going to have to start fucking.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. The point is, the Islamists, right? Okay, let's take the UK. The United, non-United Kingdom, right? Now, hang on, let me just stop this modulation, right? We are now at a birth rate in Britain for white people 1.6, right? Now, you need to keep your civilization going at 2.1 children, right?
Yeah.
If you go below 1.9 within 10 to 15 years, believe me, your civilization is done for. The average birth rate for a European Union fucking couple is 1.36. We have been over royally by the state. Don't believe in your governments. They are all the same people, all interrelated. Don't believe in government. A vote is a piece of paper, and you can vote for Tweedledum or Tweedledee. It's still on the same program.
Dave, I think you're echoing over there.
And they've taken our women and given them power. It's like the fall of Rome. They've been doing it for thousands of years. Women get more power. They become more animalistic. They start selling sex more. Never in history, per capita, has women sold sex this much. Why? Because they just don't give a fuck about men. They never give a fuck about men.
Yeah. What I see is that most women don't really have any value in society, and all they can really do is paper shuffle. So they've decided to do the best thing they know. I've talked about this before in videos. Usually when a woman goes to a foreign country, the first thing they think of doing is sex work. And when a man goes to a foreign country, like me, first thing I think about doing is something that I know how to do, welding or mechanics or auto body or teaching or something like that. If they can't find work in a foreign country, the last thing on my mind is letting some guy fuck me in the ass.
Well, the point is,
But that's like the first thing on their mind. They're going to go strip or they're going to go
yeah,
have sex
exactly.
for money.
But the point is, Shi-nu, the point is this: it's backfiring. Prostitution now is backfiring on women themselves because there's still a lot of women who don't sell sex directly, indirectly, marriage, whatever, but it's backfiring. There's so many 40, 45-year-old women saying, I want children. Yeah, go fuck yourself, bitch. Those days are gone. Now, the point is, men are now fucking loads of whores, dead cheaply, 18-year-olds. Old age for women now is 25.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to get Newtonian physics on you. For every reaction, there is an equal and opposite. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So women think they've got all the fucking power. I got pussy power. I'm so great. What happened? Backfired.
Well, that's exactly the point that I was about to make, because the funniest part in all this is the more shit they make available for women to do to men, is the more men are like start, even guys who don't even know what the fuck MGTOW is, these guys are backing off like, ooh shit, if I get too close, am I gonna get, fucked over, like hard, fast, and in the ass? So,
yeah, the point is, right, this is why the sexodus for young men, because all the young men are seeing university students, 1 in 10 university students who are medical, which is middle class, sell sex now, right? So all the young men are going, what's in it for me? She's a fucking whore. I can't have a family. And this happened in the fall of Rome. They gave women more power because they wanted to collapse that civilization. It happened with Greece. It happened in Sparta. The people that control this planet are very, very few. Do not vote. Do not give a shit. Go your fucking own way.
That's just it. That was like the whole point I was making. I mean, there was that article about how women in the workplace are starting to suffer because men won't come around and even talk to them anymore because they're afraid of getting frog marched to fucking HR for some bullshit reason. So women can't get shit done.
Do you know Mike's sex machine, right? He was smoking a fucking cigarette in his office in Australia, right? Looking at porn. This HR woman came over and said, that's disgusting and you should stop smoking or you're sacked. He said, fuck off. He's smoking his pipe, looking at porn still. She said, right, you're sacked. Right? He said, no problem. He works for the biggest engineering firm, one of them, in the world. He's an absolute fucking genius. She sacked him on the spot. He went home. He said, fine, got his coat. His contract, when he re-signed it, they have to give him $30,000. Boy, did that bitch not love her job after that.
And that's just it, that's, I mean, we get so many examples of guys who, aren't exceptional like that on the job, and they don't give a fuck to get rid of these guys. But then they try fucking with dudes who, like Michael, who, are geniuses and very good at their job, and these women get bit in the ass with this fucking, oh, men are just pigs attitude. No, bitch, no, you are gonna have to learn you can't just fuck with anybody, you damn well please.
And that is the prime example of what's going on. I'm not going to talk over you, Shi-nu. Carry on, mate.
Yeah, that's the feminists are telling them that that's the way it is. You know.
Yeah,
They
that's
think
the
that
way it is. Whatever you feels, if he's hurt your feels, then you're all right. Hello.
Well, that's why these women need that good hard kick in the ass, fucking with the dudes that
Yep.
are so good at what they do that they don't give a fuck.
Well, that's the thing. If you're good enough at your job, you're going to be able to find another job. You don't have to fucking worry about it. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
You know?
that kind of goes along with what I said in that video I made about submission versus oppression.
Yeah.
Just be as good at your job as, and that's why you want to get a job you love to do, because
Yep.
you know, if you love doing your job and you're so good at it that they can't, that you're not necessarily totally untouchable, but that somebody's going to cuss the HR bitch out for firing you, you got it made.
Yep. Yep. That
Yeah,
they'll fire her and hire you back just because they need you more than they need her.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. I mean, there's, I do find majority of HR people are women, and they have this social justice. Huh?
They are.
Yeah.
The majority HR, human resources, you're not a human being anymore. You're like a resource. Human resource. You're like a fucking twig, a tree, a fucking piece of coal.
I just think it's odd because you can actually be a biological success as a man, and a woman will tell you you're inadequate for whatever bigoted reason she can come up with. Like they love pushing their weight around.
Right, listen to this, right, Tiffer. When did you ever say, and I want all the men here, when did you ever say you're not a real woman? But they can say you're not a real man.
Right. I don't go. Yeah,
be a man.
I don't go around and find divisive ways to cut them down. I've never done that to women.
That's their go-to for men, though.
Yeah.
Well, but
like,
that's just it. If we flip the script on them a little bit more often, maybe they'd figure out that shit don't fly.
They think we do, and they call that misogyny.
I've heard that word so many goddamn times.
Yeah.
I don't even give a shit what it means.
Yeah, but that's because you're a redneck racist. Racist. Hang on a minute. Loads of people taking over my country who wants to chop my fucking head off. No, you're racist. Shut up.
Well, what makes it so funny to me, though, is the first time I ever heard the word misogyny, it came out of a woman's mouth. And here's what made it so funny. I was talking to her, and this was back in my blue pill days, and I was like, "Oh, you got any single girlfriends?" And she said, "No, I'm a misogynist." I said, "What does that mean?" And then she explained it to me. A misogynist is somebody who hates women. And I'm just like, oh,
right,
okay.
Listen to this. This is women, right? This is women. I was dating an accountant all accountants. She had 20 people under her. She works for multi-internationals. She works for the banks. She was fucking richer than me. I could not believe it, right? Now, I fucked her on the first date. Lovely woman. And then second date, I was saying, Luke, men, the biggest killer of men and boys between the age of 15 and 43 in Britain is suicide. And I said, by the way, I've got no sexual reproductive rights. She turned round and says, why do you hate women so much? Bang!
Well, that seems to be their go-to silver bullet right there. Why do you hate women so much? Because you know we have the power to strip you of anything and everything by the law. Why do you hate us so much for that?
Yeah. Why don't you let us have more control?
How much control do they want?
They want it all.
They want it all. Get up, I've got no feelings. I will do everything for you. What do you bend over, stick my head in the ground, and fuck me up the ass with your dildo? Excellent.
That's what they want. You
You know, I
that's-
read these stories, and once in a
but
while, these migrants, these social justice activists. There was a story the other day. There's this.
Oh, she got raped. She
She
got
got gang
raped.
raped by a bunch of monkeys.
Yeah, she got raped. And what did the social justice warriors say to her? Don't say it, anything about the rape, because it will hurt our cause.
Well, when they mean their cause, they got money coming in.
boys,
So
I'm
that's
gonna
what they're
go.
talking about, money.
I'm gonna say one thing before I dip out and roll up the street. But you know, just because you know I'm not willing somebody fuck me over, male or female, doesn't mean particularly that I hate them.
Yep.
It just means I'm not going to let them have that much power over my life.
But we're not
Boys,
even
it's a
talking
pleasure.
about
I'll
women.
see y'all later.
They're not even talking about the women. They're talking about the courts, the legal system.
See you later, Magnus.
See you, Magnus.
See you later, Magnus. Keep it
So
up,
anyway, yeah,
Paul.
that chick was raped, and they told her to shut up, but she was gang raped by a bunch of Somalis, right? So yeah, they're going to tell her to shut up because that's going to cause their funding to get cut off.
They're all funded by George Soros, all these fucking people. Look at the corporate welfare, what the feminists get. Look at Gamergate, for instance. Oh, for fuck. I never went into that because I would cause so much havoc. And Tifa, you stop following American fucking
Okay,
jihadists.
Shi-nu lives in Japan, so he has I don't know if Paul, if you talked to Shi-nu, but Shi-nu lives in Japan. He's a professor there. So I don't know. I'd like to maybe you and Shi-nu, or Shi-nu would have something to talk about. You know, the herbivore men, because you live there.
Yeah, that's I do psychology work here.
Oh,
and
fuck you. I've got a neuropsychology degree, so don't fucking do your best, cunt.
Yeah, I work with a lot of the herbivore men and a lot of the what we call the otaku kids. They're kids that basically never. A lot of them drop out of high school and then they just stay in their room, play video games, read comic books, and never go out.
You know why the male children did that?
Yeah, they just drop out of society basically.
Right, and you know the real reason behind this? I probably know more about Japanese culture than you do, considering I've got like loads of martial art background, even though you live there. But one of the reasons why the male children started dropping out is because of Angel Kosai. Do you know what that is?
Angel Kosai?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Never heard of it.
Well, let me tell you. There was compensation dating. That's what it was called, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
all the school children, girls, were fucking older men so they could get the latest iPhone or the latest whatever, and all the boys dropped out of society because all the girls were turning into whores.
Yep.
Just like it's doing in Britain, in Europe, in everywhere, we are done here. They don't want us, they've got what they want, and it's all the feels. They feel good because they've got the latest shit, the latest materialism, because they are consume whores. Right? They are consume whores. And men are going, right, what's in it for me? Nothing. See ya.
Yep.
And that's why 70% of men in Japan now, I've heard, and I've seen the statistics, it's relatively 70% of men who used to drop dead because they were overworked, and you used to give the money to the woman to do what they want to. Now, the point is this. Now, women are so sexually frustrated in Japan, and you'll know this, they are making female brothels left, right, and centre, but they can't get the men to fuck them even for money because women have gone batshit crazy. So they have to get female to act like the men. Now that is a screwed up society. Your take, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, our culture has had for years here a culture of women that don't get what they want when they're in high school. They want Louis Vuitton purses and nice shit, you know, and their parents, the father won't buy it for them, so instead of them going out and getting a job and working for it, they just go to a hostess club and get a hostess job, and then guys buy the stuff for them, and they're underage. Lots of them are like 16, 17 years old, but they've got Louis Vuitton purses and nice clothes.
Well, that makes it all right, because Louis Vuitton is a gay man, and it's a status symbol, so it's all right, you know?
Yep. Yeah, that's how the cultures went here. I think most women in Japan have at one point in their life been hostesses.
Yeah.
So
Listen to this, right?
That's the problem.
Listen to
Most
this.
guys
There
know
was
that.
hang on. There was 2 schoolgirls that held hands and jumped off a roof because suicide in Japan is going off its head. There's even a mountain where they have to look for dead bodies every single day.
Yeah, I talked about it in a video last week.
For fuck.
They pull 100 bodies.
Suiciding.
They pull 100 bodies out.
It was suiciding.
Okay, so my mic it's echoing a bit. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my another headphones or something here.
No, it stopped echoing. No, it stopped echoing now, I think.
Yeah, something was echoing earlier.
It was.
Yeah, I talked about it in a video last week.
It was Dave's mic. It always does. Well, it does that a lot. That's why I muted him.
Okay.
Yeah, because you never mute anybody, do you, Tiffa? You don't.
I wouldn't unless there was a disruption.
Exactly, because you can talk about anything and everything, which I love you for. How come you wanted to talk to me? Somebody said you wanted to talk to me about something.
Well, I'm not sure how that happened, but
Okay.
it's good to talk to you, Paul.
It's always good to talk to you, Tiffa, and good to listen to you. But you defriended me for some reason. Don't know why.
Well, okay, so there was a while back. Turk was telling me that you were calling him a pedophile.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Well, I've since then blocked Turk, so because
he's a Muslim and he wants to rape your children.
He was a bit disruptive to some of the things I was trying to do in life, and you know, you can't let people be disruptive, you know, over and over again. It's not good for you.
He's a horrible man, right? He actually, JDD is gay. He means a lot to me as a human being, but when I say there's a gay pedo agenda, and then he turns around and says, yeah, but it's just like a woman. Yeah, but I'm gay and we don't want to fuck children. I'm saying there's a gay pedo agenda, and I'm including women in this. Yes, but there's no gay pedo agenda. Right. What happens? Salon. I was a paedophile. I'm a paedophile. And what does the social justice warriors say? You're not a monster. Oh, right. You're not a monster. I'll let you in my house. Fuck my kid. You're not a monster. No. You just love my child. Fuck off. I will kill you, you monster motherfucker.
That's interesting.
Yeah. There's always that bitching about stupid shit. The MGTOW, it's all bullshit. So anyway, yeah. Paul, I took a chick on a date the other night, and she referred to herself as the boss, and I'm seeing that a lot. I'm seeing that a lot, and you see these chicks on these dating profiles online. They have shirts and necklaces that say boss or like tattooed boss. It's some weird shit, man, and they're trying to dominate the guys.
I'm bossy. No, let them be the boss, and they can boss them fucking selves into oblivion.
Yeah, so I'm seeing that a lot lately, and it seems to be something that the 20-year-old girls have. And I see the guys they date, and they're fucking retards, and you know they wonder why they get STDs and all this other stuff. It's weird, man. It is so damn weird. And you know they say they want a real man, and then they go out with these guys. And well, what the fuck is this crap?
No,
what does that mean?
Look, they do not want a real man. A real man talks the truth. Tiffer, as long as I've known him, has always talked the fucking truth. He's live and direct. He's got a bubble on it. He's a sniper. He's a fucking sniper.
But you know, I also hear the girls say that too.
Pain.
I'm hearing a lot of the girls say that too. They say, "Oh, I'm direct. I'm very honest." I'm like, you know, and she's telling me, "Oh, she hates that hat. She didn't like this. She didn't like my car. It smelled like old car and all this other stuff." And she said, "Oh, I'm very direct."
Yeah, man. Listen to this. You know that bitch who was dating? He was the accountants of all accountants in Great Britain, right?
Yep.
She was even richer than me. Didn't piss me off. I thought, well, I'll try. And I said, I'm going to get a motorbike. And she said, no, you're not. You're going to get a car.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that, you know, they're you know, especially when people say, you know, it seems that when people say that they're very direct and honest, like they're brutally honest, it seems to me that the people that say they're brutally honest, they're actually not honest. They're full of them. They're full of shit, but they're making it appear that they're honest. It's weird. It's some weird psychological shit that they have going on. They're convincing themselves of this bullshit.
Pathological liars.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those guys that you get in that you want to fight, and the guy will act like he's a really good fighter, but he hasn't been in a fight since 8th grade in high school.
If at all, if he's ever fucking had a smack in the gob.
Yeah.
You know? It's like all these fucking Muslims. They're so small and so fucking tiny. I want to hug the little bastards, but they want to chop my head off.
So I'm really interested in what goes on in Japan. Shi-nu, tell me what's going on there.
About what?
Well, I mean, you know, we're in a MGTOW discussion, so, you know, well, I mean, we're always talking about
Dave. By the year 2025, Japan will not exist, and that is why they are trying to make robots for everything. For bartenders, for you name it, they're trying to make robots. Even your sushi bars are now robotic.
True, yeah.
They're not having children. Why? Yeah. Because women are repulsive. What do you reckon, Shi?
Yeah, a lot of the boys here, they're saying it's 34% of high school girls don't want anything to do with sex because it repulses them, and 61% of the boys don't want anything to do with women. And the rate of children that they're having is actually below the rate of people that are dying. And
same as Germany, same as France, same as Britain, unless we get loads of lovely immigrants who want to chop my head off. Right, but the point is this. You sell more fucking diapers for old age people in Japan than you do for babies. Shit happens.
Well, do you think it has, you know, I always look at the economic side of it too, and, you know, I look at Japan and they've had the last decade, which actually turned out to be the last 2 decades or more, right? So, you know, maybe it's just too expensive too for fucking people to have kids and raise a family now.
Well, the problem that we have that's going to become more of a problem, they're saying basically by 2050 that Japan's going to drop off by 1/3. And the problem that we're having from that is the GDP is dropping, and there's not very many people that are wanting to go into STEM fields here as well, like in America. So all these companies that build TVs and cars and all this stuff, a lot of the engineers that do that kind of work aren't going to be around, and a lot of the work that makes Japan what it is, a lot of the people that do that kind of work aren't going to be being born. So our companies are going to drop, you know, like Suzuki and Mitsubishi and all these companies that make products that everybody knows us for, the Sony TVs and, you know, Sony like cameras and all these things, all that stuff.
What are you talking about?
Fuck my dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought the Japs had the smallest fingers and they're great at that kind of shit. I mean, I heard that on the TV. The best things are made in Japan. Like, well, what's going on now? I wonder why no one's going into STEM field. No one's having kids there anymore. I wonder why.
Yeah. Well, the problem is a lot of the people here just don't. They don't see much value in society anymore. That's why there's so many.
Oh, fuck off! They don't see much value in society anymore when you've got Kugel hotels because somebody wants a Kugel and they have to pay for a Kugel. No, but the honey badgers say prostitution and Kugeling for money is fine. Fuck off, honey badgers. Fuck off, Karen Strong. Fuck them off. They are thick. They see no further than their pussy.
Yep. That's hard for a woman to look past.
So I'm just wondering why, you know, for decades everyone thought Japan, all those chinks, those fucking little gooks, they make everything. They make all the electronics, but now all of a sudden nobody's making kids, nobody's going to the STEM fields anymore. I wonder what that could be, you know?
The thing that you'll notice the most is, like, back in the 80s and 70s and stuff, Japan made some of the best stuff. And the cool thing is they made stuff to last. That's why everybody liked cars.
Yes, exactly.
The problem that we got now is kind of the same problem that you had in the U.S. in the 70s, where they went from making like cool cars back in the 50s and 60s that were really nice cars that are still around now because they were built to last, and they started making shit boxes like the Pinto and shit like that.
Oh, fuck off.
And that's basically what they did, what they're doing here in Japan now. They're starting to make stuff cheaper and cheaper because everybody's buying Chinese shit, and they know how crappily it's made, so they're trying to get on both.
Why do you think Kawasaki wiped out every motorcycle fucking manufacturer worldwide? Because they made it to last, the parts were cheap, and you didn't even need the fucking parts. And now they've gone into what you're saying. And it's called, I forgot what it's called, but it's called, it's built-in failure. Right?
Oh, okay. I was going to say Kaizen, but that's planned improvement. But yeah, planned obsolescence.
Well, it's
obsolescence.
It's engineered consumerism. Engineered consumerism.
Yeah, they don't. If they make something like a bike that lasts for, like, you know, ever, then they're not going to be able to sell anymore. And America kind of figured that out back in the 20s, that they had to make stuff that would fail, so people would have to replace it all the time, and then they'd make money. And Japan's starting to figure that one out too.
Because you keep buying throwaway.
Right. Yeah, you buy it, you keep it for a year or two, and then you toss that one.
Look at the relationships that we have now. Throwaway. But do you know why, and I'm going to ask this to everyone, why marijuana was actually made illegal? Well, I'll tell you if you don't know. Henry Ford was making the car out of it and making it run on it.
Yeah.
A sustainable car. And when they crashed a car, a Model T Ford, no one was injured because it was malleable. It was made out of nature. It was run on nature. And all the oil barons said, we must stop this man. He's giving his employees a car. He's making them mobile. So now we've got a clash of civilizations, right? We've got social justice warriors, right, who want everybody to be fucking raped, even though they say there's a rape culture. You know, up is down, left is right, right? Now, they've made the men of the Western world so weak. We get told by the law courts, which is made on Roman civic law. If you go past that, it's made on Sumerian law, and these families want to control the world. And people say, no, you're full of shit, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. The other MGTOW guys say you're full of shit, you don't know what you're talking about, man.
Oh, I know, because I just look at my cuff and it's off the cuff, because I wrote it yesterday when I was drunk. Now the point is, Alex Brown, who's a clown, I call him Alex Clown, said, I don't want this in MGTOW, I don't want that in MGTOW, I don't want this in MGTOW. Oh, so you want to not men go their own way? Another clown, Tiffer, that you got indoctrinated with, he's a simpleton. I'm a fucking Knights Templar.
Yeah, I know.
I blocked him ages ago to come.
So we do have a lot of that going on in MGTOW. I've noticed they like to put everyone else down. I mean, once in a while, okay, that's fine. But there's a lot of, you know, like guys like Paul, and I don't know what they say about me, but, you know, fuck them. Like, you know, you can speak the truth. They still will not fucking believe it. They won't believe it.
Nope. And you know, one of the reasons? I love Alex. You're right. Fuck off, Tiffer, you cunt. Speak your asshole.
Well, you're right. You're right. Like Alex is he's a bit of an asshole, but at least he says what's on his mind. And you know, he'll tell you what he's thinking. So
that's nice. So will your husband.
So you know, yeah. I'm seeing that, especially in Canada too. The planned obsolescence. I mean, it's always been there, but it used to be a shorter time scale. I mean, a longer time scale for products to last longer. You know, I've kind of correlated it to the financial cycles. It seems that things have really gone really downhill since China started pegging its currency in 1994 to the U.S. dollar. That's when the manufacturing really started to leave the United States and other countries. Is in 1994. That's when they started doing it. So products started going downhill when they started getting made in China. That's what I'm going to say. And not to say China's a problem. No, it's not. When they start fucking with the currency, they're stealing the jobs from the United States and other places. And then when they're buying the debt from the United States and other places, that's like it's manipulating the interest rate. So I'm correlating it to interest rate manipulation.
Right. Don't get too complicated for people who don't know this shit. But the point is this. The world currency is the dollar, right? Do we all agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, what the power elite, and I'm talking worldwide here, have all got together, said they will shaft families, get rid of men, and all that. I mean, somebody was talking, I think it was Dave, a woman who wrote for The Guardian said men should be all locked up in concentration camps and taken out like library books. Now, once you start destroying men like that, women will have a hell of a time of it too. They are setting us up for a one-world religion, a one-world government, and that religion, I'm going to get really deep here, right? So let me speak, as you always do. Okay, boys, this is the big picture. I'm going to give it you live and direct, and then you can spread the word. The Holy Roman Catholic Church, and I emphasize Rome, the Roman Empire never stopped. It just did what it's doing now. If you look at your birth certificates, your name is is in capital letters, your last name, which means you're a slave. Neo, one, Neo, one, Neo, one. You are the one of us we own.
Oh, Neo is one. It's spelled differently. Okay.
You're right. Oh, there's a lot of shit in the Matrix, man. I'll tell you that first note. And they're just showing you. They're very clever and they're very evil, and they've been doing this for thousands of years. And now we're going into Brzezinski, the technotronic age. Now, I'm the first to die because I know, they know, and I'm fucked. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm going to be fucking screaming my head off going, okay, you're a bunch of cunts. But let's get back to what I was saying. Right? They have infiltrated every part of everything, what they ever do. Now, the Muslims, God bless them. Oh, did I not say it right? The point is, they was made by the Roman Catholic Church. Mohammed, who was a paedophile, an enslaver of human beings, and made women into sex slaves, who were non-Muslim, and he hates whites, was actually brought in by a Roman Catholic nun, a prostitute, yes, and was made to write the Quran. He didn't write it, it was illiterate. She wrote it. Notice those women in power. This is all true. Muslims are basically feminists, yes, correct. And if you look, they worship a square box which is related to Satan, yes, and they have to put their head in a vagina. It's a silver vagina. And even the Catholic Church worships behind Jesus, which is a man, which is lesser, which we've always been. It's the woman, it's Mary who they worship. And it's not Mary, it's going back thousands of years. Listen, boys, I'm going to finish off my video today. I want everybody to comment on it. And I'm actually asking Lana, because she's actually possibly one of the last bastions of freedom in a female mind, that can I fly over and just have a drink with her and talk to her, because she's a university professor and I want her to spread this word. But I think we're all going to fucking die quickly. I'm so sorry. Our freedom is going to go, and they will control all the minutiae of your lives. Who you can fuck, who you can't fuck. They're getting rid of us anyway. Now, you're a professor in academia, Shiite Muslim or whatever your name is. What do you think about what I'm saying? Shiite Muslim? That's on the film.
It's Shi-nu, and I'm an atheist, actually.
I know most people with a brain are an atheist, but yeah. I've not got a brain, you twat, and I do believe in God. But I cannot tell you what God is, because if I could, I'd be a god myself.
Yeah.
So I don't want any churches, because I have a tendency to get your money or fucking rape your children. So I really don't want any churches. I know there's something out there, and I just know. Right? I've been shown, and I'm not going to get Bible bashing, because I've never bashed the Bible. I've never stuck my dick in it. And the point is, that's made out of hemp as well. But come on, talk, boys, before I go, because you're interesting characters.
The Bible's basically pornography anyways. It's pornography, it's death, it's murder, it's all those. It's basically all anything that you can think of and conceive of as a human being is written in the Bible literally, so you can kind of read it any way you want to.
Exactly.
It's funny that though. So's the Quran and so's the Jewish fucking.
Let Shi-nu talk, please.
Yeah, you can read. We've done this before in psychological tests in schools where we let people read one paragraph and then we ask them to write what they think the paragraph means, and everybody comes up with a different thing. And that's the thing with the Bible, is like you can get anything you want out of it. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it in the Bible, because it's whatever you want it to be. And that's why people say they cherry pick out of the Bible. They do, because they see what they want. You know, when you read a passage of the Bible, it means whatever you think it means. It's just like when you listen to a song. If you're going through something in your life, then you think that song has some special meaning to you because it means something in your life, but it wasn't wrote for you.
Luke, just look at fucking clouds. Can you not see that big fluffy bunny rabbit that's kissing an elephant?
Yeah.
No, all I see is it's right. What's that called in psychological terms? Well, you should know this if you're a professor of psychology.
Yeah, I can't remember. That's like 101 stuff. I can't remember. I'd have to get out my psychology book. It's basically the same thing like how they seen face on Mars. It's the same kind of stuff. They also thought they seen something that looked like Mickey Mouse.
Someone is echoing now. I can hear echo. Maybe it's Paul.
Yeah, it's me. Mute me, somebody. I'm too lazy.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to look in my book. I got my psychology books, and I'd have to look in there and see what that's called. There's basically a thing that happens with some people that see something and their brain locks onto it. Basically, like there was a bunch of people that came out and said that they had seen a figure on Mars that made it look like there was Mickey Mouse. And then we basically, anytime we see a face, in the clouds, or a face on a piece of bread, then we start saying it's Mother Mary. All these kind of things. We're just naturally drawn to see faces because your brain recognizes those. But it's not just faces; it's everything. So I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's something we learn about in like Psychology 101.
Interesting. So, yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to happen.
Well, I think like a lot of people act like we're going to be able to solve the problem and things are going to be able to be fixed, and like I always say, that Japan is the canary in the coal mine. The problem that we got going on is, like I say, here in Japan it's 70% herbivore men. And in America, you might be lucky with MGTOW and men's rights activists, you might have 10% in the entire country. So when you guys get to 70% in the United States and 70% everywhere else, there's not going to be a world. Basically, there's the rate of people dying should be close to the rate of people being born, at least, and that'll at least it won't make the society grow, but it'll kind of flatline. And the problem that we got here in Japan is there's like 15 times more people dying than are being born, and that's why we're actually shutting schools all over. In Kobe,
you're shedding.
10 years we've shut hundreds of schools here in Japan. And we've actually, in Kobe, they've turned them into old folks' homes.
The point is this, boys. For thousands of years, they've wanted a new world order. And the new world order is coming, and it's here. But I'm a conspiracy theorist, according to Alex Brown, whatever the fuck his name is. I've gone back to my roots. I live at a Knights Templar bastion. And I will fight when I'm 109. Not that I'm going to live over fucking 45. But I will fight. Look at the fucking size of me. Look at the fucking size of me. There's no steroids in me. And I'm gonna fucking train. And I will die fighting on my feet. Not bowing down and getting my head chopped off. This is a death cult. This is a death cult that you fuckers have been living through for time after time. And now it's coming to fruition. Not ordinary men.
In Canada.
Extraordinary values. Extraordinary values meaning you care, you love, you will bend over backwards for your children, even when the women turn on us. You will scream and shout, and then find brotherhood in MGTOW. Men going their own way. We have lost our authority over our own children. Our women are batshit crazy worldwide. It's worldwide. They will always use sex. And top of it, right? Okay. I'm going to show you something right now with words, right? So, if the lower classes are run by women, which they always have been, if the middle class has always been run by women, then the feminists say the top classes are run by the patriarchy. What makes them any different than being run by women? No different. And Kaiser Soze, the devil, what did he say? With usual suspects, the devil will use. We're done here now. And this is the last fight of humanity. They've done it for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
We're older than this shit. What more can you want from a man like me to tell you the truth? And when I tell you the truth, Tifa listens to a dumb Muslim who wants to rape his children. Same as the Catholics. Same as the Catholics.
I don't know what it's like in the UK, but in Canada, I would say within 10 years, you had better be wearing a diaper on your head, or else you're going to be getting a rock in the back of the head if you're walking on the street. It's probably like that in Britain right now.
They've just gone to war on manspreading.
Yeah.
Yet I'm taking in my country, which is not Great Britain. It's never been Great Britain. My family has been here for thousands of years, and it's called Albion. We had the Picts, we had the Celts, we had everybody as tribes, and we got on, relatively speaking, until somebody nicked somebody's sheep. Now,
Well, Albion is what Britain used to be called, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm getting really pissed off. Because once Britain goes, they know that the whole of Europe will fall. Once it does, and it is falling, because the women are following like sheep to their own demise, then we're gone. The whole of the world is gone. Once Britain goes, you're all fucked. And the only saviour I can see is America.
You mean it's not women?
Luke, there's a lot of gun-toting women in America.
They seem to think they're the ones that are going to save it.
Oh, they only think they're going to save it by giving feels.
Yeah.
I love you. You're non-possessive, and I'm free, and no, you're being enslaved as a sex slave. Women are not very bright. They don't see the future. Tifa, how far do women see?
Oh, they don't see. They can't even see past their checkbook. Okay, they're so self-interested. They're so hypergamous and short-sighted. It's a huge problem because what they're doing is they're dehumanizing men in order to just jump ahead of men. And it's an ego thing. It's not even good business because they're losing money by doing this. They're treating their slaves like not slaves. They're treating them like disposable resources.
You're talking about short-sightedness and bad memory. This girl I brought out to the restaurant the other night, she said that she admitted we were talking about memories and cognitive things and things like that. She said she admitted to me that she couldn't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. She can't remember what happened in 5 minutes.
Right. It's the thrill. It's the thrill of the whatever type of thrill they can get, whether it's dangerous or whether it's domestic or whether it's drugs. They're looking for that next hit. They need the exhilaration of life constantly. They're spoiled too. They're spoiled too. They stand on the backs of every man.
What?
Women stand on the backs of every man. Minus the ones that have become educated recently.
Tifa, you are one deep motherfucking bedroom dweller. I love you so much. Don't ever fucking laugh at me. I'll fucking kill you with a tickle. You see, Shi-nu, fucking
Shi-nu.
whatever, you fucking cunt. The point is, men have always had the feelings. Men have always had the sacrifice for everything. Men have always, they say men are non-feeling, get with your emotions. Go fuck yourself. Is that not emotional to die for your family? And then men in Japan realized this is a no-go area. I get no benefit. I get no love. I get no nothing. Fuck women, fuck the state, and fuck everything off.
Yeah, that's the way it's going here. There's women are for many years now they've become so disillusioned with society because of the women. They've decided to just step out and not have anything to do with them anymore.
So the point is, I fucking knew, or whatever the fuck you call. I've bowed out of society. One shit test too much is I'm sorry. Bye. And they do. They buy. That's what women do. They buy. They buy. And I say, you know, with that buy, there's a good buy. Good buy for my own good. Keep in MGTOW, boys. MGTOW for life. My name is Paul Hart Wilson. I have a family crest. and everybody else wants to listen to the people who want to destroy civilization. Well, that's fine. You listen to them. But I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
Yep, that's what you are, man. You're crazy.
I'm crazy. I'm batshit crazy.
So that bitch, that chick the other night, I was respectful to her and everything. Even though she wasn't respectful to me, she was stripping on the camera. I actually took video of it the other night. She was stripping. She was talking dirty. She said she wanted me to show her my asshole. I'm like, wow, this chick is fucked, man.
So when you said show me your asshole, did you not get the latest Prime Minister's picture?
That's what I would have done.
She's not going to know
my
who that guy is. She's not going to know who any of that stuff is. All they know is this. In and out, in and out.
Listen to what Tiff has put. Right? The lack of love or the perception of love is hard. I honestly can't sleep sometimes if I don't feel loved. It's pretty important. Right, let me just get the last of what he said. Women have no, and I will emphasize, even though he didn't emphasize it, women have no limits. They really control men today. Oh, wow. He's seeing things that aren't there. It's a brain trick. Brilliant.
Yeah. It's called pareidolia.
Brilliant.
That's what
Yeah.
you were asking me earlier. That's what it's known as.
Yeah.
It's like the people that look in, they see the face on Mars and they see things like that. If you look at something like a piece of bread and you see like Jesus on it, things like that, it's not actually there. It's just that's what your brain is associating with it.
Exactly. Boys, it was really nice to talk to you. I'm actually having an argument. Well, it's not an argument. Lana can't argue with me. She's very deep as a human being. And when she goes on MGTOW channels, I want her to be respected because she's earned my respect through what? A year and a half, 2 years now maybe. I've been on Google Plus, and she gets railroaded for what she says when basically she's correct. And there's other women, they're lost, they're lonely, and it's because we are going our own way.
Yeah, some of them are waking up.
What's that, sorry?
Some of them are waking up to it, and they're starting to realize what the feminists are actually doing to them, because some of these women that are starting to fight for MGTOW and men's rights are starting to realize what they're losing because of feminists. And before they were just letting them do it. They were just thinking, well, we're going to get free shit out of it. Now they're starting to see they're losing things, and they're starting to fight for men instead of not do anything. It's kind of like that old saying they have about Hitler, where they talk about, first they came for the gays, and I wasn't gay, so I didn't bother, and then they came for the Jews, and I wasn't Jewish, so I didn't bother, and then one day they came for me, and there was nobody left to stand up for me, and that's kind of where we're at with a lot of these feminist women, is they're basically taking so many rights that now women are starting to realize that even though they don't care about feminism, they have to do something, or they're going to lose everybody. They're going to lose their men.
Well, they're going to have to lose a basic human right, and I would suggest it would to have a family. To have a man. Okay, listen, boys, we are in fact drones. I'm happy with that situation. when somebody wants to teach my child to have oral sex, I will gladly go into that fucking place, that establishment, and knock them the fuck out. But I am not allowed to protect anymore because I'm too big, I'm too strong, I'm too manly. Go fuck yourself. Don't you laugh at me, boy.
Yeah.
So now, I've always been up for protection of the weak. I can remember in school, and nobody talked to me this day. Nobody. And I thought that was pretty weird. And it was because the two people who were so-called the cocks of the school, which I was the cock of the school, these two usurped me, and everybody never spoke to me. Everybody. And my fucking best friend, who was called, ironically, Stuart Tickle.
That's a good name.
It's a fantastic name. It's better than Stuart Arsehole or Stuart I want to kick your face in. But he wasn't like that. He was a man's man before his time. And I thought, and they all ostracized me on that day, and I was fucking furious. I can remember once that there was two boys, and I was in school, and the point is, everybody was against them, right? So I was with them. When I talked to them and I listened to them and I said, right, you're gonna have to fucking knock him out, right? This guy was walking around like 10 men, and I said, Luke, you're gonna have to knock him out, and you're gonna have to do it personally. And when they did that, there was only one man on one man. I said, Luke, because I was building these fuckers up. I said, Luke, I don't know, I'm a fucking strategist, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to build you boys up. You are worth so much more, and you are realizing this now, than what you've been told and taught. I want you to fight. Fight for yourselves. Be like your enemy. Your enemy now is women. Your enemy now is the state. Be like your enemy. Barbar did an excellent fucking... Not that I like Barbar much. He's a bit of a communist Nazi. If you look under the skin. And he doesn't know much about history, which puts me off him. But he's still a good man. He's still a good man. But the point is this. I am so glad, especially Tiffah, you fucking American cunt, come into this conversation. You can see it. You feel dark about women. You know the true nature. You know their true nature, don't you, son?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I mean, they just women are gold diggers, Paul. What can I say? You know, like they're gold diggers. They want to control men. You know, they want them to be like their puppets, right? Then they want to be the puppet masters. and I don't really enjoy this type of behavior. I just don't. I would. It's just.
Yeah, but listen to what your words are saying, right? Now, this is very psychological shit, fucking Sue, or I'm just going to call you a dog, a shih tzu, right? Oh, don't you laugh at me, you boy. What? You just stop giggling, right? Fuck off, right? The point is, what Tifa has just said, he's externalizing it, right? They think of men, not me, and that's why we're going away. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, and we're pulling apart. We need to get together, and we do. Men and women need to get together again, right? That is the logic. But women are illogical, and that's what Tiff is saying.
I think we
Well,
can never get back together unless the laws change. The laws have to change that allow men to have access to their children, to have rights in their
It's not
relationship.
going. That's not going to happen in a Western world. Let's listen to Tifa. But you are right in what you're saying. I understand you. This is a war. This is the Third World War.
yeah, well, women are at war with men right now. Women are at war with men, but it's not like a physical war we can see. You know, it's a war. It's a war of control because women send men to fight for them. If they're having a small domestic dispute, they call the police, right, on their husbands. Like if they were arguing in their household over like, you know, they didn't get milk. The husband didn't bring home milk that night. So the wife decides to start arguing, and then they argue for an hour, and then she decides she's not winning the argument right away, so she's got to call the police on him and tell the police that, you know, he hit her or something. And then, you know, so it's like men or women incite violence on men very easily. It's very easily. They can do it from the touch of a phone, whenever they feel like it. Or if they're out in an urban setting, they just call for help, and, you know, random strangers who are men will just start attacking other men and without knowing the situation.
Right. Can I just stop you here?
Hmm.
How much violence do these fuckers want? Right. It's always been men fighting for the attention, the pussy, the everything. And they have made you warriors, and now they're making you weak. Who do you think is on the top of this tree? Is it men? Now, back off. It's women. I'm done with this shit. I don't give a fuck if you're black, you're white, you're Muslim, you're Christian, and all that shit. I'm just done with, I mean, every religion is hypergamous, and it's worshipping. The Abrahamic religions was from Hinduism, which was worshipping mainly women. I'm done with this shit, and we have felt the pain for so long. And I don't know if you've ever seen June. Who's seen June? Put your hands up. June, the movie.
No, never. Sorry, I don't think I did.
Doom.
And he puts his hand in a box.
In a box, yeah.
And she says, you are a true fucking human man. Because you can accept pain. Well, I'm not prepared to accept pain anymore. Carry on. You're clever. You are actually clever. And how did you get your PhD, you fuck?
Me?
Me? Don't you be ever meet me, boy.
I think I'm the only one with a PhD here.
Not really, sunshine.
It took me 12, almost 12, well, more than 12 years. I graduated in December of 2014. I started going to college for my psychology degree and my music degree in '98. So it took me a while.
What is the best?
Shi-nu, how old are you?
42.
Okay.
What is the best music?
What's the best
I'm
music?
going to leave you, boy, with this. What is the best tune that I can listen to?
The best tune you can listen to?
You're such an American. You can't, you can fuck off to Japan and you can't get the American out of that cunt, can you? Tune?
I like so many types of music. I would say I don't know if I'd go with just a tune, but an artist. I would go with Django Reinhardt.
Oh, fuck off, you fucking prick. Don't you fucking laugh at me, boy. The point is, he had 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking laugh at me, boy. I know what you're talking about. Right. What's that fucking theme tune? You can obviously help me here. And it's an organ music. How the fuck do you like Django Reinhardt? He was an amazing player. He was a jazz player. Fuck off.
Yeah. He would.
I want you boys to be right here and get fucking drunk, or whatever, stoned,
Yeah.
whatever. So see, you've got brilliant minds, and are you going to fight? Please fight alongside me.
Yeah. I almost think it's gone past that, to where men have to stay together, but it's less about fighting and more about just kind of calling it quits and just kind of sticking together, kind of walking away together in a group away from them.
It could be, yeah. I think that's one option. But I honestly, I think there's a lot of men out there that don't learn, okay, from like a positive example.
Well, that pussy's like crack, man. That's why.
Yeah.
You gotta have that pussy.
So, well, I mean, if other men are just treating you like shit, like, you should just fuck them over. Like, if they're not treating you well, you should just fuck them over. Like, there's no reason to always take the higher path than them, always be the bigger person, because it's like, if they're gonna go around and fuck you up, maybe it's good to smack them down, because they'll never learn if you're just nice to them,
Yeah.
So that's something I've learned. Like, that's how I personally think about it. Like, if somebody's gonna actively fuck my life up, I might knock them down.
Yeah.
So
I've burned a lot of bridges in my time having friends like that. My whole life I've tended to have friends that, as long as I had something, they were my friends, and as soon as I didn't have something that they could use, then they didn't want to be my friends anymore.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Not good friends.
I've never technically had a real friend my entire life, just because of that. My kind of friends was like, when I was in high school, I'd call up a friend and say, like, hey man, you want to go do something? And be like, yeah, sure, I'll be over there in like an hour to pick you up or something. So I'd take a shower and get dressed, ready to go out. 2 hours go by, he didn't call. I'd call his mom's house and he'd say like 30 minutes ago he left with his girlfriend, you know. So that's and they don't have the, you know, he doesn't call and say like, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna go out with my girlfriend. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Inconsiderate and lack
They're
of
just like,
respect.
fuck you. You know, they're just basically like, fuck you. And that's the way most of my friends have been my entire life. You know, they've
Yeah.
been just like that, where they can always count on me. If somebody calls me up and asks me, hey man, can I get you to come pick me up from, you know, my house or something like that? I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in an hour, and I'm there in like 45 minutes. You know, and when I call them, they're like, yeah, I'll come pick you up in like an hour, and they never show up. You know, never call.
Yep. I have somebody like that right now. So, you know, and you know, I think it's from what I, you know, everyone's kind of says the same thing, and it seems like is it people don't respect each other anymore, or what is it? But you know what I mean? It's like you're saying the same thing, and those guys that you're saying or did this to you, maybe they're saying the same thing about you.
Yeah, I think it's a loss of community. I think years ago in the 50s and stuff, men used to have.
Fuck off. He's got it in one. Carry on. It's a loss of community. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know most tribes had a central tent to work this out?
Yeah.
Now we are one tribe fucking each other over.
Yeah.
You're getting it.
Yeah,
You're getting it.
there used to be, like, you know, in the 50s we used to work together. Men had a sense of community. They went out, you know, and went to the bar after work, and you know, they kind of hung out together, and now they're getting into this thing. I think it's almost women have broke that apart as well, to where once you get married you can't have friends anymore, and you have to ask your wife if you can go do anything with your friends.
No.
You know, for poker night and all that bullshit.
Like, what women do. I'm tired, boys, and I'm gonna finish my video, and this is my last video I'm ever gonna do. MGTOW, and then I'm gonna go like Andrew MGTOW went, and he was a good lad at the end of the day, but the point is, women say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, and I don't like your friend, and I don't like this, and it's like a queen bee in a hive.
Yeah.
Everybody works for her.
Yeah.
But I'm not buzzing for that anymore. You actually said you wanted equality, but you don't? Buzz off.
Yeah. They only want equality for women, and their idea of equality is men have none. They want to take all of men's agency, and they want to keep it all for themselves.
Well, they
Well,
something you guys haven't addressed too much is they actually dehumanize men. They don't view men as human beings or citizens of a country. They view them as subhuman, just a expendable resource.
Yeah.
That's all they view them as.
That's because all men are dogs. We're all just ATM machines and workhorses. We're supposed to go out and work and make them money so they can buy stuff that they want. And if you don't make enough money and you don't work hard enough, then they'll go find somebody else to
fuck off, you fat machine.
Well, that's what men did. Men set the bar. Men set the bar low for themselves.
Yeah. That's
And
basically what they want.
That's what they wanted. That's what men wanted. They wanted to fuck each other over for fucking a little fucking crack addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad to see they don't want to. A lot of guys won't step away from him, even though I see them on videos on YouTube where they talk about their wife and they talk about their girlfriend, and they say how bad they have it and how shitty she is, and I'm like, well, then why are you fucking staying with her? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
It's like a crack addict saying he needs to quit crack, but he never does. You know?
Hang on a minute. Right? I'll leave you this. They've become so bad, so non-nurturing, so what we projected on them for thousands of years, they have become their own worst enemy. And now the sexes have never... Oh, it's the genders. A fucking gender thing is made up term. It's the sexes, right? Man and woman. There's no such thing as gender. Gender is a social construct, but we can't say that because it's anti-feminist. I'm a fucking albino fucking midget porn actress. According to
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all
Because I choose... What?
It's all binary.
Oh, God, fuck yourself. Right? I'm sick of this shit. I am live, I am direct, I am Paul Hart Wilson. You not like that, bitch? Cool. Fuck off. See you on again. No, I won't see you again. But the point is, right. Let me just break this women's logic down for you. Let me just break the women's logic down for everyone. Right? They don't need men. Right? They don't need men like me, who will fucking cane every cunt in the universe if I'm allowed to by women. But I'm not allowed anymore. Bad Paul, right? So the women in Norway dye the hair black because it will stop rape. No, bitch, I will stop rape because I have got a gun, I have got my fists, I've got my legs, I've got fucking everything. I will stop that. Right? Now, apart from that, right, I have to have a women-centered, cultured, fucking dominating thing where I have actually got to love the thing that wants to kill me. Fuck off. Just fuck off. You boys are starting to awake. You have never had a male-dominated piece of shit who talks the truth like me. And I do talk the truth. But I'm this, I'm that, I'm hitting with everything you've got. I wish you could fucking physically hit me, or try to. I want this. I want war. And I will never stand. All I see is men's rights going through everything. And the invading fucking class, which they want, is getting all the rights. Now the point is this. I've never been invaded since 1066, but I'm sure I've been invaded by a lot of wankers. Britain, and this is true, is asking for America's help. And I hate that. The British men should be fighting this shit. They're not. They're too busy pussy begging. I do want a new world order, and let's turn it over on them. Okay, you don't want a nation state and all this. And I don't know, boys. You can't fly your flag, you can't do this, you can't do that. Fair enough. Ultimately, I would love a new world order of love and peace and all that shit. Now, what this new world order is about is child pillar. That's me. It's child paedophilia, which every man in his right mind doesn't want to shag. Go fuck yourself. Right. I'm going to go. Stop laughing at me. I love you. I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to say. But if you watch my video, or that's somebody else, look after yourselves and stop giving women the power, because that is your ultimate destruction. And I wish to talk to you again when I'm less drunk, but I'm going to do a video, and it's all about the Women's Equality Party. So when you see it, comment on it. This is my last video, and I will be gone from MGTOW, but I will still be going my own way. And it really upset me when Tifa unsubbed when I'm only telling him the truth. That is all. Good night, boys.
See you, man.
Bless.
Take care of yourself, Paul.
I don't need to take care of myself. You need to take care of yourself. Because I will always be the one that will survive out of these arseholes that want to control everything. Fuck off. I'm not a Knights Templar or anything. Look up my name. And bye-bye. Come on. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Don't you fucking tell me to fuck off. I'm trying to tell you to fuck off.
Bloody cunt.
You can't even say it right, you fucking daft cunt. Oh, now my mouse is everywhere. Stop it, mouse. Go die. Do something. I love you, boy. Right, fuck off.
You should train a parrot to say fuck off.
Hang on a minute, I thought I fucked you off. Why are you still speaking, you fucking wannabe Australian? Right, I'm gonna fucking close it off, man.
Okay. That was interesting.
Yeah, when he starts drinking, it gets kind of funny.
Yeah. Paul's always a riot. I love having Paul around.
He's about 4 sheets into the wind.
Oh yeah, he's on the drink now.
Yeah.
He's taking the piss, so they say in England.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
So yeah, that's what's going on. Shi-nu, what's going on?
Not much, just hanging out. I got a bunch of job interviews next week.
Okay. Can you, whoever's recording this conversation, can you turn it off now?
Oh, yeah, may as well.